Hello, Diane Cox here. I'm doing a little reading on the UK general elections. I've picked just the three leaders of parties. So I looked at the polls, and it's the top three are the Conservative, obviously Labour, Keir Starmer, Conservatives, Rishi Sunak, and the Reform, is it Reform UK or UK Reform, not sure, Nigel Farage. So what I did was I did a little bit of tarot work earlier on to pick a significator to represent each of these leaders, okay? And then I'm going to take the significator and then do a reading that is based around the 5th of July, the day after the election, 2024, and see how they are looking. Okay, so the significator that came up for Rishi Sunak was the Chariot, and here we have the war god Ares, all in his battle gear, storm clouds in the background, two horses, a black horse, a white horse. Who's in control of the reins? Where is he guiding this situation he finds himself in? So that's the significator, one of the significators that came up for Rishi Sunak. I basically picked three cards and just took the first one that came out. So let's see. I want to get through this quite swiftly and just see the overall lovely pattern. So this is Rishi Sunak. How does he feel on the 5th of July after the UK elections of July 2024? Crossing cards, Four of Pentacles, okay. So as you can see, Daedalus here is holding on to what he has made, his reputation, everything he has. He's feeling like, it's all mine. It's feeling a little bit kind of uncertain. In this deck, he's feeling uncertain because the young lad in front of him is his nephew, who is basically outshining him with his skill, and Daedalus is feeling very threatened by it. So Rishi Sunak's crossing card, is that a bridge or is that an obstacle? We would say that seems like an obstacle to me. So that's where he is. He's feeling a bit Four of Pentacle-ish, holding on to what he's got, doesn't want anyone to take it away. Sometimes I think it can be a card of just taking ownership of what you have and what you've earned. And other times it's like feeling threatened. So let's see what the rest of the cards say. Okay, Six of Pentacles. Well, this is interesting because I often see this card, the overarching card, as a card of being given another chance. You've made a bit of a pig's ear of your life, and you've had to run away from everything that you know. Oh, actually, that does make sense, doesn't it? Because I believe Rishi Sunak has plans to go back to California or something and carry on with his big business. So maybe that is a new lease of life, a new chance. So, a whole new beginnings, a new beginnings, that kind of thing. So, interesting. So he's got the Four of Pentacles and, of course, money as well. Quite interesting. Take the money and run. I don't think he has any money problems, does he? What's at the root of the... Okay, what's at the root of this? Okay, King of Cups. So at the root of that question, you've got, here he is, so feeling kind of satisfied, feeling calm, feeling like he did what he could. It's a card of like a counsellor, someone who gives good advice and someone who really kind of people come to, a calm person with authority, emotional authority and stuff. So I don't know, I've often thought with what he's been saying lately, he doesn't want to get back into power, does he? All this stuff about drafting young people into the services, and then if they don't want to be drafted into national service, they're going to take away their access to finances and their phones or something like that. Or was it driving licenses? I can't remember, it was something bizarre. What's in the past? Okay, yeah, this would make sense. Feeling depleted, feeling like you've given up, it's too much. There's a sense here of just going down. This is Persephone going down into the underworld. Persephone, Psyche, going down into the underworld. And she's like, I've got to do it. It's like resignation, which is also funny, but that's in the past. So it's like feeling resigned. You've got to do this. It's a path you've got to take to put things right, to put your misdeeds back into order, so you can gain favour again. So that's interesting in the past. What's in the future? The Eight of Pentacles. Keep plugging away, Rishi, at what you do best. And it's all about, this is all these pentacles: money, business. Do what you do, refine what you do it well. So I've asked about the day after the election, which is quite interesting, isn't it? Because it's like, do what you do, new beginnings, do what you do. King of Cups, it's like, oh, okay, you know, being philosophical about things. And in the future, you've got this Eight of Cups. It's like, you've really accrued a lot. You've built up a lot. You've got all this wealth there on the bench in front of him. And this is a card of just refine what you do. Just keep refining what you do. Just keep refining what you do. So this could be, you know, him going back to business. I can't see him going back into Parliament. It's all about money. So it's all about business. And okay, where does he find himself? He's like, hey, I'm right here. I'm speaking truth. I'm here. I'm clear intellect. I'm clever. I'm not allowing my emotions to basically dictate where I want to be and what I want to be doing and how I'm going to say things. It's about speaking with clarity, with precision, and, you know, speaking with authority again. You know, queens are authority, and it's air, it's swords, it's cutting through the crap, it's putting, you know, everything into like a clear, no nonsense, this is how it is. So he's obviously feeling quite like he's, you know, hey, he's doing the job there. How is everyone else seeing him? A little bit naive. He's got all these great ideas. He's got the idea of kind of being, again, I see this as business, creativity, all that kind of stuff. And it's, like I say, pages are all, it's all about the uprush, the kind of first ideas of stuff. So how do people see him? The Page of Pentacles, I'd actually have to say, again, a bit naive. You know, he had a dream, he had an idea, or he has an idea. Maybe other people know what those ideas are, and maybe they're nothing to do with running a country. Okay, let's see what the outcome is. And okay, what's the hopes and fears? Oh, the Star. Very nice. Wishes come true. I mean, in this deck, it's about, obviously you've got, the Star is about manifesting dreams and everything that you've thought of, but in this deck it's also about Pandora's box that lets out all the horrors all the horrors and, you know, all the nightmares of the world. As you can see, the dark miasma. It's not butterflies, it's like dragonflies. So you've got the light and the dark right next to each other. And then, you know, sometimes what we think we want and we manifest, we actually find out we don't. But it is a dream of wishes. What are Rishi Sunak's wishes then, I wonder? Because it's quite a nice reading, you know, for the day after the election. He's feeling okay. Oh my goodness, and look at this. Look at that. It's like, okay. It's like Nine of Cups. It's all coming together. It's all you know, all the love and joy, and he gets what he wants, and it's all a happy union. And after the trials, that is really weird. Okay, so there's two things here, isn't there? There is, he does really well in the election, and he's all kind of buoyed up. All this love and pentacles. The day after, he's feeling fine. You know, maybe he's going to do better than they think at the moment. Or on the other case, it's like, you know, he's glad that he's not going to be in power anymore. He's glad he hasn't got that stress anymore. He's glad he hasn't got to do that, and he's going to go back and do his business and all the things that he loved without carrying the burden of millions and millions and millions of people on your shoulder, because you're never, ever, ever, ever going to please everyone in politics, are you? Ever. There's always got to be, I always find it really interesting in the last kind of few decades. It's always like, oh, this party got 51% and these got 49%, which means 50% almost of the country are dissatisfied with what they have to deal with. So I always find that quite fascinating. So that's Rishi. I'll take a photograph and I'm quite perplexed by that because it's a nice reading. It's like, whoa, 5th of July 2024, Rishi Sunak is like, yay, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just going to go and immerse myself in this stuff. So, okay, I'm going to take a photograph of this and then come back and do Keir Starmer and carry on the roll and see what it all shows us and if it gives us any insight. Okay, so we're back with Keir Starmer. How's Keir Starmer going to be feeling on the 5th of July 2024, the day after the election? When I did the work on choosing a significator, the cards that came up for him, the first card that came out for him was, surprisingly, I don't know a lot about this guy, the Knight of Cups. And I thought, oh, the lover, the romantic. But obviously the Knight of Cups is also about having an idealized view that you hold, that you work on. You know, it's like having this vision that you are kind of, obviously the Knight of Cups is often an emotional vision, and the Knight of Cups is also someone who is emotionally connected. I don't know if that's right about Keir Starmer, if he's emotionally connected. I know he's got a big life of working in politics, lifelong Labour person, who's immersed himself in this whole of maybe the love aspect comes from the love of what he's doing. You know, I'm asking about politics. I'm asking about the day after the election. So maybe this Knight of Cups is the love of what he does, the love of people, the love of connecting, the love of having this idea that is just full of joy and, you know, the hope. It's a card of hope, but it is a bit unrealistic often with the Knight of Cups. They can be a little bit kind of, yeah, great having this loving, wanting connection thing, and, you know, great hopes for the UK. But again, as I always say with these politicians, how do they do it? It's all right saying to all these people what you're going to do and how but it's how are you going to do it? How does it actually work out then? So let's get on with it. Knight of Cups, that's a significator for Keir Starmer. Let's see what's crossing that. 4 of Wands. Okay, so in this deck, you know, you've got Jason here. He's about to set out on an adventure, which is quite interesting. Wands, fire, action. He needs to act. He's getting together his team, and they're going off on the Argo in the background, on the ship in the background. They're sailing forth, which is quite an interesting symbolism for the day after, isn't it? An election. Getting your team together and sailing on a new adventure. So that is quite interesting to begin with. Is that a bridge or an obstacle? I'd say that is definitely a bridge. What's the overarching card? Okay, the Ace of Pentacles. Look at that. Lovely big uprush, considering finances, what is going to happen with finances, what is going to be kind of coming up. The Earth card, Pentacles, Earth, money, health. But it is obviously a big uprush of feeling positive. There you've got Poseidon going, yes, come on. It's a big yes card. So that's quite a positive thing there, isn't it? It's the Ace of Pentacles as the overarching card. What's at the base of this? The Seven of Pentacles. Now that is quite interesting. In this deck, the Seven of Pentacles is quite a tricky card because I was like, kind of like, I don't have to really talk about this part of this myth again. Okay. So here is Daedalus. He's been approached by the Queen to basically, she's been put under a spell and she's fallen in love with this white bull. And basically she's asking Daedalus to make her a certain contraption. I won't go into the details. And basically all behind the king's back. And it is the king that's given Daedalus a second chance and a new lease of life. So he feels really compromised. So this is in Keir Starmer's chart at the base of the reading, feeling compromised, feeling like you're really going against someone who's shown you good faith. I do often think, it's no secret that every government says this all over the world. Well, not maybe all over the world, but there are, once people get into power, they think they've got ultimate power, but these men in certain suits with certain kind of other powers come, and whatever great visions you've got, they say, no, you're not doing that, and you're not doing this, and that's not going to be right. Could be ministers, if you ever remember Yes Minister from that British series. But the idea here, the root of the question with Keir Starmer is a feeling of being compromised and really unsure what to do. Oh, this is weird, look at this. In the past, 9 of Cups. Now look, Rishi Sunak has just had that as a outcome. So that's in the past for Keir Starmer. Feeling like everything was going well, everything's great, and looking at the polls, everything does look great for them, doesn't it? The Labour Party, they're way ahead. So maybe it's based on that, or maybe it's based on further in the past, working up to this, or seeing how people lost faith in the Conservatives and stuff. So what's in the future, Keir? Oh, okay. 4 of Cups. Okay. This card in this deck is about gossip, listening to gossip, letting people lead you down the garden path, listening to people who haven't got your best interest at heart, people who are jealous, envious, people who have... this is basically when Psyche is... being talked to her by her sisters, and they're telling her that Eros can't possibly be real, and even though she's living this luxury life, it's all rubbish and he doesn't really exist, and that basically she must look upon his face, which he has asked her specifically not to do. Don't ever look at my face when I come to see you at night and sleep in the bed. And then she does look at his face, and it all breaks down. So it's a card of listening to other people, bad advice, that's what it is, listening to bad advice that basically has a catastrophic effect on your whole kind of setup and what you were, planning to do. And you might have this beautiful life and everything's going well, but listening to bad advice, interesting, the day after the election. Oh, where does he find himself? How does he feel at the moment? Like the hanged man. Kind of in freeze frame, kind of seeing things from a different perspective, having to see things from a whole different angle, which is quite interesting. Normally in the Rider-Waite, the hanged man is about just, the guy's still got a glow about him. It's about allowing things to percolate from a different angle, to enlighten, that when you stop and think about it, when you stop and you go, okay, it's almost like, let me just meditate on this. Let me just kind of be in the moment. It's that kind of vibe, but it is a freeze frame. It's like, don't do anything, just take it all in. Maybe it is that. Maybe it's take it all in. This, in this deck, is when Prometheus is being punished and he's tied to a rock and he is forced to relive a horrible occasion every day, which is it's a little bit of a different vibe, isn't it? It's like, he's being attacked. Every day he gets attacked by this bird who pecks his liver out, and then during the night it heals, and then the next day the terrible torture and punishment starts all over again. Yeah. So that's Keir Starmer on the 5th of July. The energies that are bringing this together, that's what it kind of suggests. How do other people see him on the 5th of July? That's interesting. 5 of Pentacles. In lack. Feeling tired, exhausted. Feeling... This card is, obviously someone sneaking around in the night, having to run off in rags. This is actually Daedalus after he's killed his nephew. By accident, evidently. Killed his nephew... and now he's got to do a runner. And so it's like lack. It's a feeling of no money, no spirituality, no morals, no self-respect, no esteem. Now that doesn't quite make sense, does it, with the Ace of Pentacles? But let's carry on. That's how other people see him, Keir Starmer. Maybe they think he's wangled his way, or he's done something dastardly in order to get where he gets to. and he's got to sneak off because he did something that other people know about, and they don't think it's very fair. Well, obviously, other political parties aren't going to think it's very fair, are they? Hopes or fears? Oh, well, that's definitely a hope, isn't it? Temperance comes with her joyful balance of rainbow, the sun and the moon, the feminine, the logic, the intuition and logic, the masculine, feminine, the logic and intuition, all balanced in this beautiful moment of just feeling calm, feeling like this looks good for Keir Starmer. Apart from the Hanged Man, but that could be just take it all in and, just take the moment. Outcome. Oh, okay. Lovely, lovely. Athena, lovely. Warrior, goddess. And Atalanta, as she can be known. So the outcome, truth. No messing. Look at that. The Ace of Swords cutting through the rubbish, the harsh words of truth and honesty, brutality with the words and the mind and the ways to think. That is really interesting. Keir Starmer's outcome. Okay, what do we have here? Let me just vibe this in. There's quite a few different things here. This whole Seven of Pentacles, Four of Cups, deception, deceit, people talking bad stuff to him, and him feeling between a rock and a hard place. The Five of Pentacles mixed in with the Ace of Swords and Temperance. Obviously there's some really good things here, but there's I just think there's going to be some big discussions about, well, of course there's going to be big discussions, it's a government, it's going to be a brand new kind of so maybe behind it all it's like, so this is him the day after. I think it's quite I look at that Four of Cups and I think, who's whispering in his ear? Who is kind of, obviously the hope is Temperance. Of course they hope that they all have a lovely day and they are successful. Is the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Swords, aces are normally yeses, yes, he's going to do well. He's going to do well, he's going to maybe do well and then talk some real fighting talk. When he does acceptance speeches or when he's interviewed and stuff. But we'll see. As I say, they always talk a good talk, and then do they walk the walk with politicians? It's an age-old kind of conundrum, isn't it? Okay, well that's Keir Starmer. Let me take this photograph and then we'll move on to Nigel Farage, okay? Okay, so now we have, I've rearranged everything for Nigel Farage. Very interestingly, Nigel Farage's significator that came out was the same as the card that Rishi Sunak had for how he's feeling, which is the Queen of Swords. Clarity, rationality, an advocate for others, cutting through the haze, cutting through, the smoke and mirrors, rational thinking, feeling confident about what you're saying and the words that you're saying, just speaking truth, as it says, speaking the truth. So very interesting. Those two gentlemen have the same card come up in their reading. So yeah, they're both feeling like they're out there fighting for the truth, fighting to get it out there, the ideas out there, trying to get through all the red tape and the reality. So that's quite interesting. What does Nigel Farage have crossing? Okay, has the Queen of Wands. That's interesting. Two queens. The Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Lovely. The Queen of Wands, is like a very practical, action-oriented woman who can look after herself. Wonder if he's going to. Wonder why. Okay, let me just think. Let me just put that down there. The Queen of Wands. Two queens. Two authoritative. A fiery queen, a mental, intellectual queen, and a fiery queen of action and determination. Feeling determined. Maybe it's just an aspect of him that's feeling determined to act and to. Well, this is the day after the election, so let's carry on. Let's get to too into it yet. Okay, what's the overarching? Oh, look at that, death. Okay, wow. The death card as the overarching Nigel Farage the day after the election. End of cycle. End of things being how they were. A completion. I know he's only taken up this position quite recently, hasn't he? And was and the party's really kind of really taken off with great leaps and bounds. So maybe it's the end of a cycle as like being overlooked. Maybe it's the end of a cycle, they don't do very well and it's all over and it's back to the two-party system, the bizarre strange things that happens all over the world, apart from here in South Africa where we have a government of national unity. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So the death card is the overarching end of cycles. The new dawn is coming. It all comes to everybody. The death card. Wow, that's really interesting. Let's see what's at the bottom. Oh, what two powerful cards surrounding the queens. The emperor. The emperor making laws, making, the power, the authority, standing up. This is Zeus or Jupiter, the god of gods. This is like the person who's totally in power. Wouldn't it be mad if the death would be, and the emperor would be, he actually comes over he actually beats Conservatives and Labour. Highly unlikely, but I'm just speculating like everyone does with politics, unless you believe they're completely fixed and rigged. I'm not sure. I used to when I was young. I always used to think, no, they're all rigged. Who knows? Who knows what got counted in every single school hall all over the. Anyway, I'm not going to carry on with that. The emperor at the bottom of it. Wow, feeling powerful, feeling like he's got the world in his hands. He's got the lightning bolts of power and an ignition to spark life into things. What a very interesting reading. Death and the emperor. What's in the past? The Nine of Wands. Okay, the Nine of Wands in this deck is about, you just think you get into the finishing line and there's another obstacle in your way, another challenge that you have to overcome. So that's in the past. Just when you think it's all over and you're home and dry, you're not. Because in this card, as you probably know, if you watch my readings, this is the ship, the Argo, has to go through the magical clashing rocks. And you have to time the sail just in order to get through the rocks while they're open before they crash and splinter your ship into bits. So that's the Nine of Wands, an obstacle before you're home and dry. Interesting. What's in the future? Oh, very interesting. Okay, the future is a bit like Keir Starmer's, because this is the west wind, Zephyrus. It's like this is. Lots of hot air being spoken, lots of words, lots of gossip, lots of exchanges. It's air. It's turbulent air. Look at how he blows the air. He's there in the heavens and the sky. So interesting, turbulent air, turbulent thoughts, turbulent communications, which is quite interesting for the day after the elections. That death card, I'm really thinking about that. Oh, let's have a good think about that. Okay, where does Nigel Farage find himself currently? Yeah, I'm not surprised. Seven of Wands. As I say, this is often a card of chaos, uncertainty. Who's doing what? Who's building? Are they helping each other? Are they hindering each other? Are they in competition? I would say with this reading about him and the election, it's about competitiveness. I know he's an Aries. One thing I should say that I looked at all of the charts. I want to do an astrological kind of comparison to the tarot, but the only chart that's got the time is Nigel Farage's and Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak. Even though you've got the date and everything, without the time, it's pointless doing that kind of stuff. So Seven of Wands, he's feeling competitive. He's feeling like, I saw a little thing the other day where he'd talked about Russia and how the West had provoked Russia, and it was all on the headlines, paper. It's like, well, it's going to be a bit difficult if you go and do your history and you find out about it. And what he was saying. And what he was saying, if you look at the history books and you look at political analysts who are not too biased, they'd agree with that. So, how weird is this? Look at this. How do other people see him? The star. This is what Rishi Sunak got. Now, you know, I feed my cards in one by one after a reading. I space them out in the whole deck and then shuffle them and make sure, you know, they've got a good... So that's the wish card. There we go, the star, wishes and dreams come true. As I say, it's a double-edged sword, because in Pandora's box you open all the woes of the world and then all the great wonders of the world. So other people on the 5th of July see Nigel Farage with the star card. Wishes come true. Wonder what his wishes are. Maybe it's people who know what his wishes are, they see some of it come true. Not without, as we see, the whole thing of dragonflies. Hopes and dreams. Okay, the 6 of Swords, moving to new waters, moving away from turbulence, turning your back on. It's about travel, moving around, starting again, starting a new kind of lease, a new chapter. You know, he's in his boat, he's got his chattels with him. He's got his swords with him, he's got his swarthy, lovely cloak there, standing confident and proud as he moves forward to calmer waters. Well, it is going to be calmer, isn't it, the day after the election? And you're going to be doing all your interviews, and then then at some point you must collapse in your bed and sleep for 2 weeks, for all of them. You know, it's hard stuff. It's so much pressure, politics, so much pressure. And you know, I think some people go in for it just for the expenses and all the other things, but you do get really good-hearted people that truly want to make a difference, don't you? Okay, what's the outcome for Nigel Farage? 2 of Wands. How very interesting. So this is the 2 of Wands, where you've got, in the Rider-Waite, it's a guy who's holding the world. He's got the world in his hands. He's holding, you know, one hand has got the world and the other hand is on a new project, and there's another wand basically leaning against the wall, or it actually looks like it's in a bracket. And he's like contemplating about, you know, where to go, what to do, next move kind of thing, to stay in the castle or to move and do stuff. In this deck, you've got Jason, as in Jason and the Argonauts. And he's just had a little chat with Chiron, the centaur you can see in the cave in the background. And Chiron has given him some very good guidance about what he needs to do next, basically. He's found out that his father was cheated out of the kingdom, and he's been given this quest to do. And he's standing there like going, okay, what am I going to do next? What is the next way, the next step forward? He knows he's about to go on a quest. He knows he's got to stand firm, stand strong, stand up for his family, and do the right thing, and gather all his team again around him. This is what he does. He goes and gathers his team around him, and they go off as that other card that I think Rishi Sunak had, and they gather the team and they go off on an adventure. So there's no kind of disaster here, is there? It's all kind of, okay, there's obviously challenge. Here we've got that death card, the overarching thing, death. Is like, wow, I can't wait to see what happens on the 5th of July. And it really helps to back engineer my own understanding of tarot and the energy all around it. He's got very strong cards with death and the Emperor and the other major arcana, the Star. So that's quite interesting. It's feeling a little bit competitive, it's a bit of chaos maybe. And then that 2 of Wands, like contemplating what's my next move. Of course, it could be the next move. If this is like death, they don't do well at all, it's the end of everything, forget the Reform Party, then the 2 of Wands could be, okay, what am I going to do next? What's my life? On the other hand, it could be, it's a whole different, maybe it's like I say, hung parliament in England. Maybe it's a government of national unity. All very nice. So I don't see any disaster in any of them really. Did we see disaster? We didn't see the tower or anything completely mental, did we? But okay, all I was asking is how they're feeling the day after. So maybe I'll do a quick short video, like a minute, on who I think. I'll get those significators and go, who is going to basically be in charge of all of this. So I'll see about that. So thank you for watching. That was fun to do. And let's see what manifests. It's only a few weeks away, and yeah, we'll carry on with that. As life does, we all carry on, don't we, with our lives. But thank you so much for tuning in, for watching. As always, I love your comments. I love to hear your own interpretation of the cards, or even the vibe. Even if you don't read cards, you've got intuition, you've got tuning in abilities, and I'll be very interested if you got anything particularly exciting out of that you think one or the other is going to be feeling elated. I think Rishi Sunak was quite surprised, because his reading was really quite yay, you know. I'm feeling like, it's like, yeah, I'm feeling kind of the vibe. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon if I decide to do another one on this. But thanks. Sun's come out. I'll be seeing you soon. Take care now. Bye.